All right. Okay, we are recording. So when I asked you guys what you felt like you could use the most training on or just wanted some more information on, all of you pretty much said how I work the business. You just kind of wanted to know how I get my stuff done. So I'm basically going to go over what we do every single day to be successful in this business and why. And I should be able to do this in 30 minutes if I don't get distracted with talking. So the first thing that we do is we add to our network. And the reason we do this is like, okay, so Nicole is actually dating a classmate of mine. And so I know him. So I actually met her through him ish, but that's beside the point. But like Danielle, Shannon, and Ashley, I didn't know them before the business. I did not know them, and obviously I wouldn't know them because they live in North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Chicago, and so I would not have met them if I wouldn't have grown grew grew my network. Also, I'm really sorry if you can hear Granger. He might be needing me for a minute. Are you good, babe? Hold on a second. Okay, well, if you can hear him crying, I'm really sorry. He's apparently not having it. But anyways, so we're growing our network. But what I want you to remember is like, I didn't add all of you guys on Facebook or Instagram just so that I could get you to join the business or try the products. That is not my thing. That is not what I'm about. I added you because we probably have something in common. So I'm going to guess that you guys are moms, which everyone on here is. Maybe you had a C-section like me. Maybe you didn't. I love cats, so sometimes I add from cat groups. I love everything Bachelor, which is just my thing. I'm trying to think of other ways that I found you guys, but it doesn't matter because what I like to do is build connections. And so, like, my postpartum journey was very interesting. Like, I didn't get postpartum depression or anything like that, but I felt very alone sometimes, and sometimes I still do. And I know that there's other moms out there like that. And so, like, before me being a mom, adding to my network was very different. But now I feel like I know what I like want, and things I want as a mom is to make sure that everyone, like, when they're like, is my kid hitting the right milestones? Are they doing this? Are they doing this? I want to like basically make sure that they don't feel like they're alone, because obviously they're not. And then from a C-section perspective, when I went in to have a C-section, the most beautiful moment of my life that I'm getting ready to meet my baby, I felt ashamed because of everything that is just surrounding C-sections and the negativity with it. And just, you tell someone you had a C-section, they're like, oh, I'm sorry, what happened? It's just so negative. And so like, I just want people to realize that like, I could probably go into a whole different like Zoom just on C-sections, but like that it's okay to have a C-section, that you still birth your baby and you still have a good connection with them. So that's all I'm gonna say on that. But what I'm saying is I met all of you guys because I was willing to expand my network. I was willing to meet new people. And I really do enjoy meeting new people. If you guys didn't get that from the FaceTimes that we've had, I really enjoy meeting new people. I really enjoy talking to all of you. It's seriously one of my favorite things. And if my husband, like if we had more time, my husband would hop on here and get to know all of you guys too, because he really loves to get to know people too. So that's why we add to our network. It's not just to get sales. It's not just to do those things. It's literally to meet new people and share things that you guys went through. I know Danielle has a son with Down syndrome, and both of her most recent kids, the two youngest ones, had a lot of health issues, and one has had surgery. And like, I know nothing about that. I know absolutely nothing about that. And so I'm sure that there's going to be moms that she's going to end up adding, that she's going to like help them through a similar journey, because I wouldn't be able to know what to say to those people, but she would. And so you just want to think about things like that as you're adding. But there's different ways that you can do it. And I wish I would have been on my phone to actually show you guys how I do this. And I'll still show you the screen, but I can't record on my phone, so I'm not going to worry about it. But I'm going to show you how I do it on Facebook and Instagram. So a couple different ways you can do it on Facebook. So when you scroll on Facebook, I'm going to find an ad here. Okay, there's a boutique. And so I found a boutique here. Oh, that might be a little bright. Found a boutique ad that came up on my thing. If this ad is on my profile, all these people that liked it are also looking at the same thing that I'm looking at. And so what I can do, you can see I've already have one person on there, but I can go to this person's page and I can look through it. And what I do is I don't just add. I don't just go, whoopsie, how do I get back to the thing? I don't just go down this and add, because I could add someone from a different company. I could add someone that I have like zero things in common with. And I'm just like, I don't want to have to force a conversation. I want to be able to just enjoy my time with them. So I click on their profile and I just scroll down to like 3 or 4 posts. And some people have it pretty private. So like hers is overall pretty private, and all I can see is some profile updates. But then she has a funny meme here that says, you can't listen to Christmas music before Thanksgiving. And then someone goes, do you hear what I hear? And that's pretty funny because I am a very Christmas and December person. So I could see myself adding her. So I'm going to go back up and I'm going to add her as a friend. And so that's what I do on Facebook. But I also will go into like mom groups And so I'll find one here. Oh, here we go. So here's a mom group, but I don't just add from the members. I go down to a post that I like really agree with or feel like speaks to me. Um, sorry, let me find one that I can actually agree with. Okay, I can't find one that I agree with right now. But either way, I don't just add from the group. I find a post that I agree with her that I relate to, or someone was like, hey, my mother-in-laws were really, back and forth, and maybe I'm going through that. And so I can add people that are gonna be going through similar things like me. That's basically how I do it on Facebook. On Instagram it's a little bit different, but not really. But Instagram just doesn't have groups, and so what I like to do is find some type of show or something that you're interested in. So like I love Bachelor, like I've said before. So what I'll do is I'll go up to the search bar at the top and I'll type in Bachelor, and obviously there's a million and one Bachelor pages. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to their most recent post, I'm going to click their likes, and I can go through these people and I do the exact same thing. So I'm going to click on this girl's profile, and obviously you can't read it backwards, but it says MSU 24, just living one life one day at a time. So she seems like she could be pretty positive. So Instagram's a little bit harder because you don't see their posts, but I can go ahead and add her. I'll look at the next girl. So she says, I love Jesus, U of A, Beacon 2020. I don't know, it must be a certain university. And then Stride Sports and Physiotherapy. I'm not fully sure what that is, but she's got pictures of cats. So we're going to be best friends. Okay. Because I'm a crazy cat lady. So like, I like that. I can add her. I can see us like interacting, stuff like that. So that's how I do it on Instagram. And the next thing that we do, I was adding, obviously. The next thing that we do is interacting, which I just talked about, interacting. I'm going to go comment on one of her cat posts. So when I'm on Instagram, most of the time, I don't know about you guys, but I watch stories more than I look at people's feeds, whether I'm on Instagram or Facebook. And that's usually how most people are. So what I do is I'm going to get someone that's not in the business here. I go this. Oh my gosh. Okay. Someone's got Oreos. If you know me at all or you don't know me, you're going to know I love Oreos. That is something I'm hardcore obsessed with. And so I can go, oh my gosh, Oreos are my favorite. Okay. And then I can ask her what her favorite kind is. I'm sorry, I have to type. I can't type and talk at the same time. That's right. I love Oreos. What's your favorite kind? And the reason I'm not just saying I love Oreos is because she doesn't have to respond to me then. She could just like my message and I could still be in her inbox. But now she's going to respond to me. And by her responding to me, Instagram is going to be like, oh, hey, that girl wants to see that girl's posts. And so it's going to put me in her feed more, and it's going to put my stories in her feed too. So I go through the stories and I respond to about 10 people usually. And I just ask some type of question. So maybe they posted a beautiful sunset and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. Where is that? Or maybe it's a mom thing and they have some really cool plate for their kid or something. And I'm like, oh, that's really convenient. Where'd you get that? Just a question that they can respond back. I do this same exact thing on Facebook. And the emojis that they give you, okay, so here's a really cute baby. The emojis that they give you, oh, Facebook doesn't give them, but Instagram gives emojis here. You can do those, but again, they just would like the message. So I would probably say, oh my gosh, she's so cute. How old is she? Okay. Sorry, I'm doing that because I can't type and do it at the same time. So I would do that. And again, I do that for about 10 to 15 people, depending. If I have more time throughout the day when I'm scrolling, I'm going to do that more. But again, why I call it like intentional and purposeful interacting is because I want to build their relationship. I want people to think of me, if they do get to the point of having a baby and they want to lose that weight and they're like, hey, I know this girl posted about this coffee for like ever and ever and ever. I'm going to go talk to her. I want them to think of me. If they have a C-section, maybe, and even if their first one wasn't a C-section, they're like, I'm feeling really ashamed right now. Like, I just want to talk to someone. I want them to think of me. So that's like what I do. And that's why I like build those connections. Give me one sec. Look, and say hi to everybody. Like, we're thirsty and apparently fighting bedtime. So he's gonna join us for our Zoom. If you don't know, this is Granger. But anyways, so Okay, I just talked about interacting, but yeah, so I want to make sure that you guys know I do that purposefully. It's not just like scrolling. I make sure I'm like at least 10 to 15 people that I'm doing with those stories and I'm asking them questions and everything. Because scrolling is not interacting because most of the time you're probably just liking it, and liking it doesn't do as much as you actually think it does for in the sense of um, them actually noticing. You know, when I comment on it or something like that, that's going to be different. And that reminds me as I do that. So when I go to my profile on Facebook, I can go to my friends list and it says recent right beside all. So I can click recent and these people that I just added come up. So what I do is I go to their profile. And again, just like when I talked about on Instagram, I interact with them. So I already interacted with this, but it says, who knew the hardest part of being an adult is figuring out what to cook for dinner every single night for the rest of your life until you die. And I thought that was absolutely hilarious. So I commented on that. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so true. And so I go through usually just literally like a screen of people. So it's probably like 10 people. And I just comment on 1 to 2 things. So I don't do the feed as much on Instagram because it doesn't seem to make as much of a difference, but I do the feed on Facebook because it does seem to like they respond usually. Does that make sense so far? Is everyone following me? Sweet, awesome. Okay, good. So I'm gonna get a drink now. He's like, no, you're not, mom. So the next part we're gonna move on to is posting. So why do we post? Because as much as you think people see your stories, they actually don't see your stories as often as you would think. And so posting is just another network in a sense. So like I think stories are a network. I think Facebook, posting on your feed is a network. Like each different one is going to reach different people. So some people might not watch stories, but they're going to scroll their news feed and vice versa. And so when I'm posting on my feed, I post 3 times a day. And so some of you might be like, oh, that's kind of a lot. I thought it was a lot too until I realized what I was posting. So if I go down my profile right now, nope, I don't want you to have my pencil. Thank you. Nope, don't, nope. We're going to try to hit the computer. I was wondering how long that was going to last. That's okay. We're doing okay. We can manage this. I'll mom and do this. This is the point of this business. But anyways, if I go to my profile right now, okay, you can see I just made a business post. Okay, I shared the opportunity, made a cute little post about Granger today. And then I actually haven't posted my interaction one today, so I'll post that here soon. I went live earlier, and then I did an interaction one that has nothing to do with the business. Sorry, I know it's kind of bright. And then I posted a random picture of my cat, and then a random picture of Emily. So like it's not all it works, and that's where are you going? What are you doing here, bud? It's not all it works, and that's the biggest thing I want to like remind you of is people don't want to see it works, coffee products. Like they don't want to just see that. They want to know like who you are. And so if you go to my profile, you know, you can know things about me and not know me very well. You can know that I'm a C-section mom. You know that I'm obsessed with Granger, duh. You know that I love cats. You know that I used to teach. You know those things, even though you don't know me. Do you want my phone? Okay, you can have my phone for right now. Okay. Don't break my pop socket, please. And so what I was talking about, you don't have to post the interaction one every day. But what I was telling, I think I was talking to Shannon the other day. Some people post those like 2 to 3 times a week. But when I was doing that, I wasn't getting as much interaction as I wanted. So I started posting them every day. And my interaction went up to like, there was one that got like 200 comments before I even responded. And I was like, dang, okay. So I post them every day. So usually it's like I think the one tonight that I was gonna do. Let me see what it was because I already have it ready to go. Oh, if you could get one more season of a TV show, what would it be? So all I have to do is I had that ready to go. So now I posted it. Okay, all right. So I gotta make sure it doesn't do it. So I already went and posted it, and so now it's posted. So now I have my business, my personal, and my interaction one done. And the reason I do my personal again is just so they don't. Oops. So that people know that I'm not just posting about it works, so maybe my personal one is something with Granger. Like today, it was just a really simple post about Granger, it was just like a Winnie the Pooh quote. And then other times it's like, hey, I had a really hard day as a mom. Other times it's like, hey, I just got announced as the number 2 enroller. I'm really proud of myself. Like it can be anything and everything, just something personal. That's not anything business related. So, the other thing that I want to mention with that though is sharing things. So it's yeah. It's not that you can't share things on your profile. I don't want you to think this, because obviously your profile is your profile, but I want to let you know an algorithm tip. Basically, the more you share on your profile, the more, first off, that it's going to be harder for them to see your posts. And second off, when you share, Facebook thinks that you don't think your posts are important. And so what I do when I want to share something is I actually screenshot whatever it is, and then I post it myself. And then people are sharing my post, and then I'm getting the interaction from that. Does that kind of make sense? Sort of? Okay, sweet. And so if I do share something that I don't feel like screenshotting, or maybe it's a video, I would say not more than like, what's up? I would say more than like 1 to 2 times a day, kind of depending what it is. But if I do, I'll spread it out a little bit. And so if it's like, a business post, Granger post, interaction, then maybe I'll share something, and I'll put another picture of Granger, and then I'll share something, things like that, to where it's not so like sharing things. And I'm not calling anybody out. I just didn't know that before. What's up, buddy? What's up? There's a shark on your suit. I know. I just didn't know that before I joined. And so it's just something that I always make sure I mention to everybody. So does that make sense feed wise when you post on your feed? Sweet. Okay, good. Let me know if you have questions even after the Zoom. That's totally fine. What I want to go over too is posting on your story. And I got to shout out Shannon and Danielle. You are killing it at posting on your stories, and I love it. I love watching them. They're so fun. Everyone else, I know we're getting there in your training, so I don't want you to feel bad. I just have noticed their stories, and they keep popping up, and I'm literally just so excited. Because every time you post on your story, just like, oh, he's going to take a bunch of pictures. Okay. Every time that you post on your story, it moves to the front, the left, whatever, of people's news feed. So like when you log in and you see like 3 or 4 stories, every time you post your story, it bumps you up to the front of that list. And so that's why we post to our story too. Don't hurt my phone, please. And so what I usually post on my story, just so you guys know, is I post coffee, obviously, because I drink it every single day. And if you guys, maybe you're not drinking the coffee right now, or maybe you haven't found the coffee like of ours that you like and you're trying to still experiment with it, you can post like a different product. So like post yourself using the hair, skin, and nails, or post yourself using our cleanse, post yourself using some type of our products so that people know you're using them. Please don't do that. Thank you. Are you going to go down? Okay. Daniel, can you come out here for a minute? And so when I post on my story, I make my coffee. Hold on. Okay, sorry. He's like not really having bedtime at all. And he just wants to be around mom right now. But yeah, so I was gonna show you my story today. So when I talk about posting, so I actually went live today and made my coffee because my cleanse is coming, and normally I don't. Oh, hi. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, sorry, babies are, again, I'm obsessed with babies. But I posted on my story about my coffee here. But I went live on Facebook, but I still went and talked about my coffee, and I don't have to like show my face all the time when I make my coffee. Sometimes I'll do, like, I'm sure you guys have seen, I do like the above thing so they can actually see how it's being made. I'll do that, like, because there's not every single day that I want to get on my story and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to have my coffee. Because most of the time it's like, I'm so excited to have my coffee because it's 4 a.m. for me. And so I just like, I'm exhausted. Or maybe Daniel and I got into it one night and I'm just like, I don't want to talk on my story. So I don't talk on my story, but today was a good day. And so I talked on my story. So I'm just going to show you as I'm going through. So I talked about my thing, and then, there we go. And then, so the reason I posted this is normally after I post my coffee, I post some type of business slide about the product. So it's usually like a sales slide or coffee, something like that. And the reason I posted about the cleanse was because I talked about it because I was excited to get it. But otherwise, any other day on my story, you would have seen a coffee slide. And you'll see those if you keep watching my stories, you'll see what I mean. So I posted the rest of these, and then I cleaned my house. So I just did this, and I had probably like 5 to 10 people swipe up and say the exact same thing and say, oh my gosh, yeah, a clean house definitely brings me peace too. So it was just a simple thing that I didn't mean for interaction, but it got interaction. And so I went through my house, and then this was my interaction post on my story that I did. I asked people if they made their bed. Well, there's 60% that do. Well, I'm not in that 60% because we never make our bed ever. And so it's just a simple thing that you wouldn't think people really care about, but they love to give their opinion on it. Then I did my hair because I straightened it with my Revlon volumizer thingerbobber, and it's great. So I just did that, and then I did a typo, so I did that. Then I posted everything that I posted to Instagram, I shared in my story just as a picture. And then he finally napped, which was at like 2:00 in the afternoon. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank goodness. So I posted that. And then I said that he took a 3.5-hour nap because yesterday he took a 20-minute one. So this was good. And then I texted one of my girls that has the hair, skin, and nails. And she said that she notices it's healthier and she's waiting to take a picture on length. So I just shared that. And then I was just on our power hour. So I shared that because a lot of people, when they join, are like thinking that they're going to be really like alone and not supported, because that's what a lot of people say. But this is proof that you're not. And so every time I'm on some type of team Zoom, so I'll probably do a boomerang like at the end of this or something, I want to make sure that they know that. So that's why I share those. And then I did my other post, and that's what's on there right now. And so the only other thing that I'll put on there is I'll share the opportunity one more time on my actual story. Like I'll talk about it and talk about my personal story. And then also talk about one product. So like, let's pretend this morning that I talked about my coffee and then I posted coffee slides. Well, I had a couple of people tell me once, they were like, so do you only have coffee? And I was like, ooh. And so I wasn't doing a good enough job of talking about other products. And so what I like to do is later in the night, so it's like spread out a little bit more, I'll talk about something else. So I'll post about the cleanse, or I'll post about our gummies, or I'll post about our hair, skin, and nails. And it could just be a simple boomerang. Maybe it's like a couple slides like the cleanse ones that I showed you guys. It's just something to let people know that we do have other products besides coffee. Do you follow me so far? The biggest thing I want to warn you guys about stories is like, you don't want to post all it works. And obviously you just saw my story, that wasn't all it works. Okay, it was a little bit of it works, and then it was life, and then it was funny stuff, and then it was one more thing of it works, and then it was life again, and then it'll be a little bit it works after this. But people don't want to see all about it works. They want to see you. You didn't join me because I said it works. You joined me because of, I don't actually know why you joined me. If you want to tell me in the chat, you can. But like, you probably joined me because you felt some type of connection to me. Maybe your boyfriend knew me, like you joined me for a reason that wasn't because I sold it works. And so that's what I want to make sure you know, is people aren't going to buy the products from you. People are buying, or oh my gosh, I said it wrong. People don't buy products from you. They buy you, basically. I did say that right. I don't know what I was trying to say. They buy you in a sense. They're buying the connection that they have to you. And that's why those interactions are so, sorry, he's moving the chair. That's why those interactions are so important too. And just starting to build those relationships. Does that all make sense so far? And the thing I want to mention about stories too is like, when they first came out, I was not about them. I thought they were the dumbest thing ever. I really did. I was like, I'm not adding my story. This is just dumb. And then I realized the interaction that it does bring. And then I realized how fun it was. And so a lot of the times I'm just a hot mess on there. Like, I have my hair in a messy bun. I haven't gotten ready for the day. And I'm like, Granger hasn't napped. I'm so exhausted. Like, it's just things like that. And like the other day, I came out here for supper one night, and Gina goes, well, I was going to make some Kool-Aid, but someone put my container in the dishwasher, and I knew I didn't put it in the dishwasher. So I go over to the sink and I lift up the big bowl that I had there. And I was like, oh, look at there. It's right here. And so I put it on my story, and I was like, seriously, does any other like boyfriends or husbands do this? Because he didn't even look. Like, he literally just assumed because he didn't see it. I was like, no. And the interaction that I got from that, oh my gosh, they were laughing so hard. They're like, my husband does that literally almost every day. Like, they were telling me stories, and it was just a simple, funny thing. And so I do it all the time because people love to laugh at your spouse. I don't know why, but they do. So thanks for the interaction and the funniness, babe. So that's just something to remember too, is like, you don't have to be perfect on there. And if you watched any part of conference, I know some of you joined after, but Sadie Robertson was a guest on our, sorry, that's our automatic litter box that's going right now. But Sadie Robertson was a guest, and they asked her like how she feels about social media, and does she feel like she has to be perfect? And there's kind of a pressure because she's got so much like light on her in a sense. And she said, no, I just pretend that I have a bunch of friends on there, and I'm just sharing stuff with friends, and it takes away the pressure of being perfect. And so that's what I want you to remember too, is like, sometimes like, you know, Zooms like this, or even on my stories or on my lives when Granger's going crazy, people love to see that because I'm not being perfect. I'm being real. And I'm like, hey, some days that's just not going to happen. And it's going to be like this and back and forth and, you know, all of that stuff. And especially the moms that I add and interact with, they love to be like, oh my gosh, yeah, my kid's the same way. Or he starts talking while I talk like this. And they're like, yeah, I love his talking. No, he can talk all day, you know, things like that. Like, they just really love it. So I wanted to share that. And then just, oh, do you want to come back up? Okay. All right, come up. Come up. Can you say hi to everybody? Can you say hi? No? Oh, you just want the water. Okay. Not waving right now. We'll maybe get a wave by the end of it. But the next part is following up. And so most of you on here, I had to follow up with before you joined. Most of you did not join on the spot. And if you did, great, you're in the minority. And so following up is just part of our job, and it's what we do. And so, oh, are you going to go down or are you staying up? Oh, okay, staying up. So when we follow up, if you think you're organized, great. If you're not organized in a loving way, you're gonna have to get organized because you have to follow up with these people. And so I'm gonna show you my planner and how I do it. And obviously you don't have to do it this way, but this is how I do it. Okay, so everyone that I talk to, I write down in my planner. So when I was talking to Nicole, I wrote down in my planner, I don't think I actually know how to pronounce your last name, but I wrote Nicole Babel, I think is how you say it. And I put hyphen, nope, dang it. Is it Babel? Oh, okay. That's interesting. Okay, I'll just rewire that in my brain. But I wrote Nicole Babel hyphen PDT because that's potential distributor. And then same with all the rest of you guys. But Ashley actually was interested in the coffee when she first joined. Oh, sorry, I actually grabbed it. And so I wrote Ashley Bunkus, I think that's how you pronounce hers, hyphen coffee. And so I wrote those on, okay, today's the 11th. Let's say I wrote that on the 9th. And so on the 11th, I follow up with her because I do a 2-day, 2-week, 2-month follow up. And so in 2 days, I follow up with everyone. And then 2 weeks ago, I follow up with everyone. And then 2 months ago, I follow up with everyone. And all I'm doing is asking, what do you think? And maybe the next time I'm like, did I catch you at a bad time? And then maybe the third time I'm like, are you waiting for a certain paycheck or something? What? And then after that, then it's more of a, they'll come to me at some point, and if they don't, they don't. But I usually stop after that 2 months for a while and just let them come to me because they'll keep watching my stories and they'll keep seeing my posts and things like that. But following up is really, really important in this business, and it's something you have to do. So that's my best advice, is to make sure you're following up consistently and writing down the people that you talk to. So I'm not saying like, okay, there you go, bud. I'm not saying that like if you message someone and then ask them if you have a question, write down their name. I'm not saying that. But if they respond to you at all, so like when Ashley responded, hey, what's that coffee you have? I wrote her name down. But if they just like, so another example I'm trying to think of, like if I just first said, you know, hey, do you want some information on our products? I wouldn't write their name down because they haven't said yes or sure. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, sweet. Because I don't want you to think you have to message or write down all those people because that's way too many to keep track of in a planner. So the next thing of our list that we do is messaging. And so this one is actually really, really simple. Most of the time, like I think my last hosted post was drop your full initials below to be entered into our giveaway. And so my messaging for the day is messaging those people. I'm like, oh, hey, here's how you get your entry into the giveaway. Oh, they removed my time limit. Okay, cool. Thanks, Zoom. Sorry, I get a notification that came when I didn't know if I was going to stop it. So I message those people and then I respond to new messages, things like that. That's what I do when I message people. And so if you have more questions on that, we can go into detail on that later. But the last thing that I do is self-development. And so before this business, I thought that was crazy. And I thought it was for crazy people. And then I realized, well, probably a year and a half in, how much I should actually be doing it. And so it can be looking up something on YouTube and just looking at motivation. It can be like, you know, I grew up in a really poor home with like a poverty mindset. And so I've been really trying to work on that because I know it's holding me back. But I've also been working just on myself as a person. Like it doesn't have to be business, but I've also been working on myself as a leader. Like there's so many different things that can help. And maybe you're struggling with like anxiety or postpartum depression. You know, you can look up like podcasts or like YouTube videos on that and just work through some of those things. So that way you can obviously just be the best you, because that's what you want to do. And then the last thing that I wanted to share with you guys, and I'm like 3 minutes, then I'm done, I promise, is host to post tracking. And the reason I do this is because you're all moms on here anyways. You guys get that like when your baby does something or when, yeah, or someone comes to the door or the mailman drops off the mail and you're responding to a message and you go to do that and then you forget to open it or you forget to go back and respond. That happens to me more than I could like even put into words. And so that's my best advice when someone leaves you on red, is to think about that, because there's so many times that Granger does something, and like if Daniel wouldn't be here tonight, I would be all over the place with Granger and I would have probably not responded to a few messages because I need to worry about him. And so when someone doesn't respond, all I do for host to post is, did I catch you at a bad time? And most of the time they say, oh my gosh, no, I totally just forgot to post it. But what I do, oh, I did. Can you give him your phone so I can have my phone back? Because I need my phone for a second. Okay, there we go. So what I do personally, you can go, yeah, you go get dad. Maybe not. I thought he was gonna follow him. So me personally, I'm gonna show you my way because I like to keep track of it in my phone. And so this is the way that I do. So I have an iPhone, but in there I can do notes with little check marks. And so I write their name down. And so a girl named Melissa Hicks was going to post a gummy post for me. So I put her name in here and I just wrote Melissa Hicks hyphen gummy. Okay. And so then when I got the notification that she posted it, I go and I check mark her name and I go enter her into our giveaway. That's how I do it. And so all these people that, oopsie, I just created a new note. My bad. All the people that don't have the yellow check mark thingamabobber haven't posted for me yet. And so I get up a lot of hosts to post when I go back and follow up. Hey, did you get a chance to post this? And that doesn't not something you have to do sitting down like all the time. It can just be something like you do before bed or something, it doesn't take long at all, but a lot of people do appreciate you following up because they can win $250. That's life-changing for some people. That's a electricity bill. That's groceries. That's a life-changing amount for some people. And a girl on my friends list actually like 2 giveaways ago won, and she needed it for a car payment, and she won that, and she was extremely, extremely thankful. And she was someone I followed up with about posting, and she got her entry in because of that. So just remember that you're not bugging people. You're actually giving them an opportunity to win this money just by supporting your small business, which is really, really awesome. But maybe that way on the phone overwhelms you. Maybe you're like, there's no way I can like keep track of it like that. I want to show you a few different options here. So I'm going to share my screen. I think this is, how do you do it? Oh, there we go. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? Yeah. Okay, perfect. So there we go. So these are the ones that It Works gives us. Okay. So this is one of them. And so what we do a lot is we try to get 2 giveaway posts up. And if you haven't got to this in your training, that's fine. But some of you are like in this board in your training. We usually get 2 giveaway posts because then that means we don't have to like message people. I can just do those giveaway posts. I message them. And then these other ones are product posts. And so I'll try to get up some gummy ones and some Thermophyte X ones and kind of like that. And I'm going to go more into detail in your training with that. But that's how they keep track. And they just literally write down their person's name. So like, let's say my husband hosted a post for me. I'll write Daniel Van Z in this. And then Nicole hosted a post for me, Nicole. But this way overwhelms me. But if that way like looks more comfortable to you, do it. I want you to do what's comfortable for you. This is another one that they do. And so the name would go right here. And so we go Daniel and Nicole or whatever. And then these are the people that comment on the post. So let's say Daniel posted for me and then Nicole commented on it. I write her name right there. But again, that way personally overwhelms me. And so I don't like that. I can just go back and check it when I've saved them. And I'll talk about that in just a minute because I know I'm at my time. But this is the other way. This is the other thing that I was going to show you. Not this one though. There we go. Someone did this and it was just a simple way to do it here too. And they just wrote the person's name. And then this was something I know that's really, really tiny, especially if you're on your phone, but they basically timed out their day. So this doesn't have as much to do with host to post, but if you guys wanted something like this, they like time out their exact hour and like what they need to do or what needs to be done. So that's again, not like by any means a requirement, but I wanted to show it to you guys because some people need that like hour by hour sort of thing. And then the last thing that I was going to show you before we hop off here is when I save a post. So I don't have any recently that posted because I've saved all of them already. So I'm going to go to my mom's and unsave hers. Unsave hers, and then I'll resave it and be able to show you. So I went to my mom's profile and she hosted a post for me right there. So what I do is I find these 3 dots here. Okay. Oh, there you go. It came up and I click save post. Okay. And so it's going to come up. Where do I want to save it? So maybe you don't have any collections yet, but you can see I have February 2021 HAP, which means host to post. I save it right there. That's what I do. And then it's saved. So when I click these 3 lines, I can go over here. So I can do this backwards, saved. And then I can click February 2021 host to post. And I have all of the host to posts that I have this month. And so I can go to them and I can look who's commented. Oops. I can't do this backwards. It's hard. So then I go down and I look and I've already messaged these people, but now I can check on them. Okay. So that's what I do is I make sure that I can go back and check on them, but that's the most simple way for me to keep track. But if none of those ways like make sense to you, just let me know and I'll find a different way because there's even more ways, but that's just the quickest way I can word it. So in a roundabout way, that's what we do every single day. So to recap real quick, I add to my network, I interact, I post, I follow up, I message, and I do self-development. And that's what we call the 6 list or the KPI. And the KPI just means key performance indicators. So it basically means income producing activities in a really formal way of saying it. But it is really, really simple. And if I don't have interruptions, like if Granger is chill for a day, or if I do it before he wakes up in the morning, I can get that done in about an hour. Now maybe you're like, I'm not a morning person, like there's no way I'm getting up. That's fine. I have a friend, Hannah, who she'll be speaking later this month, so I'm really excited for you guys about. But she posts in the nighttime. She does all of her work in the nighttime after her kids go to bed because that's what works for her, and she's more of a night owl. So you kind of just got to figure out what works for you. But this is the non-negotiables that I do every single day, and why I've been able to be successful and stay home with my son. Insert income disclosure statement here. But that's what I've been able to do, and that's why I wanted to like share this with you guys on how I do what I do every single day. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording.